Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. This is Maria Abreu. If you haven't already, we invite you to subscribe. And if you enjoy the content, press the like button and make sure to share. Welcome back. We are addressing questions with regards to processes and documents. Listen, I want to say that although these recordings are short, they're very important. This information is substantial because sometimes when we're explaining a process, we're going to give you the overview. This is the process. This is how long it takes. This is how it goes. These are the documents you need. But then there's minutia. There's the little things, that need to happen in order to prepare the documents for submission that sometimes we do not address when we're giving you the overall picture. So these recordings, this series of recordings that we're doing are important because it helps you to carry out or understand the step-by-steps, that you have to carry out to complete a process like getting married, like getting residency, like applying for a visa or buying a property, okay? So listen to this question: where to get your documents translated for processes in the DR? A lot of questions about where and how to get documents translated for DR process, including marriage and residency. Explain the best way to go about getting documents translated. Listen, I'm glad to address this question because here's the thing. And this especially happens with people who want to do processes on their own, which if people have the time and the energy, go ahead. I know I did it when I first got here. So, but what happens is they figure, well, let me hire a translation service in the US to translate this document, let them certify it so that I can use it for my residency process, for the documents, in the marriage process. Wrong. The only two ways to translate a document so that it is acceptable to the Dominican state, regardless of the process that they will be used in, is either a judicial translator from the Dominican Republic or the Dominican consulate, okay? Now, for those who are in the US, like let's say if you have an affidavit of sworn statement that you have to go get in the consulate, you might as well get the rest of the documents translated in the consulate. Problem is that consulates sometimes charge a hefty amount for translations. I've heard of translation costing $125, $150, okay? Whereas a judicial translator in the DR will charge you about, I don't know, what is it? $30 a page, okay? Now, in each instance, besides the translator sealing the document, that document has to be taken to a state agency called Procuraduría, which is an authentication. It's the agency that handles all authentications for DR. So the same way notaries are registered in the US, judicial translators are registered in Procuraduría. So once that document is translated and has the seal and signature of the translator, we got to run that over to the authentication office, and they will now legalize the signature and seal of that translator. And at that point, okay, that document is fit for use, okay, in the process. That's when it's properly translated and the translation legalized. In the case of the consular seals, what happens is the consulate is going to seal the document. Once they seal it, now we have to take it to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in the DR and get that legalization apostille with the Dominican apostille by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here. That's the process. At that point, that consular translation is ready to be used in the process. Okay. So as you can see, you can't just go to any company that provides online translating services or services for translation back home and think that's okay. It has to be a translator recognized by the Dominican state, folks. And those translations have to be legalized here in the country. And that cannot be done with a foreign company. Okay, so this is a very important question, and I'm glad that we addressed it because it'll clear up for people what to do. Now, if you find that the consulate is too expensive, translate them here. You bring the document here with its apostille, because it's got to be apostilled. Because as we've discussed, the apostille is what gives the document its legality for use here in this country. So you bring the apostille document, you get a judicial translator, and it's going to be like, you're going to pay 1/3 the cost than if you translate it in the consulate. And they're going to kill me for saying this, but a lot of people do that. Now, if you're already making a trip for the affidavit of singleness or the sworn statement of singleness, a lot of people are like, let's just get this over with. So it depends. It depends on your budget, and it depends, on whether you need to go to the consulate for any reason or not. Okay, folks. So hope this was helpful. And, if you have any questions, as always, here we are.